Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome back to The Voice Within. Today, we're going to continue our mini series over the summer conversation about that middle point between two opposite things. Last week, we have been talking about gentleness and spine, and we explained and explored what is the middle point in that. This week, we're going to move into love and self-betrayal. What is the middle point between these two? Love is such a huge and powerful emotion. It's the emotion because of which we sacrifice so much and we are able to do so many things in the name of love. We were taught that love means accepting endlessly. We were taught that love means forgiving, understanding, sacrificing. In some sense, they teach us that the love means I appreciate and give more to you than I give to myself. So I would say we think often that love basically means self-betrayal. We usually don't call it that way. We call it love. This is what love means. And it's true. Love itself in the nature requires from us to do the certain things for another person to show that love in form. The way we feel love is through the acts of service, through the things, through the behavior that is showing and proving love. Somebody can tell us, I love you, but if they don't invest their behavior, effort, time, presence in actually showing us in evidences that they love us, we cannot feel that word love on our skin. We experience their emotions based on their behavior. But I think we often go in complete opposite direction. We think that loving somebody means endlessly accepting, endlessly forgiving, endlessly understanding, endlessly being available. And then at one point, it becomes self-betrayal because suddenly that same love that we were trying to pour in other people starts to costing us. And then what happens? When it starts costing us emotionally, we become resentful. And then we feel like, okay, I gave so much. I put it so much effort. I showed you my love in so many ways and I'm not getting the same back. It feels like efforts are not appreciated and we often feel used. And this is completely understandable and logical cause and effect. However, as I always call into responsibility, I always try to pull you back into self-leadership. Nobody is forcing you and pushing you to give, forgive, accept, understand, overfunction endlessly. You are the one who is choosing to show love in that form. And until we examine actually what does the love means for us and how we are proving it and showing it in our behavior, we will keep repeating the behavior which is costing us. Then the question emerges, okay, if I am loving you, then I'm showing you love in every possible way I can. And then does it mean if I stop, it means I don't love you anymore? And the fact is, when you are pouring into the people endlessly without break, people get used to it. And of course, as soon as you stop, they feel loss of it. We tend to underestimate how huge and big is our attention, how huge and big is our influence on other people. When you put effort into something and the people see it and the people feel it on their skin, it's your influence on them. When you sit with your child and you give them one-on-one attention, or you make them some cake, or you spend the time with them, you are directly pouring your attention into them. You are influencing them with your presence. And if you withdraw that presence and that attention, your child will feel it. So we have to be very, very mindful about the fact how does our influence, our attention, our emotions are affecting people around us. Once we start paying attention on our worth, then our love becomes very, very expensive. What does it mean? We start to putting our love in the places where it's appreciated, and we start monitoring and paying attention on where are we going too much, where are we self-betraying, where are we creating resentment unintentionally. If we grew up in an environment where love meant giving yourself endlessly, then of course we don't have different blueprint of love. We just keep repeating what we saw that it's normalized around us. But we have to understand that self-betrayal is not proof of love. Self-betrayal is proof that we gave beyond our capacity. Imagine you have some plant which is giving you vegetables. I don't know, let's say potatoes. So now you put the seed in the ground, you water it, you take care for it, and the plant starts giving you potatoes. And it can give you potatoes in its own capacity. It cannot give beyond that. So now when the plant stops giving you potatoes, you become angry at the plant. It is completely normal and acceptable that each one of us, like humans, has capacity on how much we can give to other people. And the fact is that giving also requires often reciprocity, requires I give to you, I pour into you, and you pour into me. It's like a loop, like a cycle where we are appreciating and loving each other. If you are pouring into something and you don't get vegetables back after some time, of course you feel resentful. I poured so much effort into something and I'm not getting nothing in return. And then, of course, after some time, you start questioning everything and you become resentful on the people because they are not giving to you in the same level you are giving to them. But the self-betrayal is yours. This is your responsibility. You are the one who needs to decide where, how much you can give to the people in your own capacity. And if you don't respect your capacity, you're going to become resentful. So the people cannot know what is your capacity. You are the only one who can understand how much you can give and where is the end to the giving, where you need to stop. And if you have connection where you have to betray yourself to prove love, then that connection is already costing you too much. So we are usually in that split between I love you, but I don't want to betray myself. We are searching for that middle point where we try to show the love, but at the same time, not at the cost of ourselves. Because we know just two extremes. I love you completely and I give endlessly, or I don't give you at all. I have this conversation with my son often. He's in the phase right now where he is trying to understand how do I keep friends if they're doing something which I don't like. He often has situations, kids in the school are telling him, if you don't do this, then you're not going to be my friend. Then he comes home and he tells me, but if I don't do that, what they're asking from me, I'm not going to be friend with them. And I'm basically teaching him that you can love people, but you don't need to disappear for them. If the people are not matched for you, that doesn't mean that you are bad, unlovable, or something is wrong with you. It simply means that you are not matched with that people and you need to find the people who are matched with you. People who love you will understand your capacity and they want you to be okay. They don't want you to do something beyond your capacity just to make them feel good. And this is such an important lesson that many of us adults, we never learned. We think that if we love people, we have to disappear for them. But rarely we ask ourselves how much that disappearing is actually costing us and how to reach into that middle point where we still care for the people who mean to us in life without harming ourselves. Of course, there are situations in life where sacrifice is required, like motherhood, like sickness, situations where we have to go beyond our capacity because life circumstances are pushing us. But if it is pattern, if it's something that we constantly do and we are resentful around it, then we need to ask ourselves, is this love or is this self-betrayal? Because self-betrayal, or better to say it, when we're giving love from self-betrayal, it's not clean, it's not pure. It carries that resentment inside, that bitterness. And we don't want to poison love in that way. We want love to be clean. So when we give to the people, we give it from the heart. We give in our capacity how much we can. We give them without expecting anything for ourselves. And only way we can give this kind of love is when we stop self-betrayals, when we are giving from overflow and we are paying attention on our capacity to give. It's like you have 1 cup of water and person in front of you is thirsty. So if you give them whole cup of water, you're gonna stay thirsty. You can just split it into 2. You can give them how much is in your capacity without making yourself thirsty, but as well giving to them so they are not thirsty either. This is that middle point. Middle point is that place where we say, I love you in my own capacity, and when it starts costing me, I protect myself. And I protect myself not because I don't love you anymore, but because I need to protect this love between us. I need to protect it from resentment. So we don't stop giving to a people because we don't love them anymore. We don't pay attention on capacity because we don't love them anymore. Quite opposite. We stop giving when we start feeling that it's costing us, and that cost will poison the purity of our love. You most probably felt it in your life when the people do something for you and they carry that awkward bitterness inside of it. It's not clean giving. It's not giving from the heart. It carries that silent resentment. And if we are honest, none of us likes that. So it is extremely important for us that we stop at our capacity so we protect our love from being poisoned by resentment. People don't know your capacity. You are the only one who knows that capacity. So you protecting them from your own resentment because you love them. Because on the end, this is your responsibility. Not responsibility to protect them, but responsibility to monitor your own capacity to give, to function, to love, to give attention, to sit, to smile, your time, your effort. This is your responsibility. This is something which is coming from you towards other people. This is the way you show love. And if you go beyond that, if you sacrifice your time, your energy, if you overgive, overfunction, or whatsoever, of course, cause and effect, you're going to start feeling resentful. We often hear that metaphor which says, fill your cup so you can give to others. This is exactly what I'm talking about, but I am expanding it even deeper and trying to explain you that it's not even anymore about self-betrayal. It's about protecting purity of your love. When I work on my podcast, or when I'm preparing some of my materials, or when I'm scratching some frameworks in my office, my son often comes to me and he's trying to get attention and he's trying to sit with me. Completely normally, developmentally appropriate child behavior. And if I am not really immersed into my work, I allow him. But if I told him that I need silence for 1 hour to finish something and he comes and he interrupts me, I often send him out of the room. And of course, he doesn't like it. Of course, he would rather stay with me. However, I want to make sure that our love is protected, that I don't feel that resentment of I cannot do nothing because my child is disturbing me. It's my responsibility to draw the boundaries so our love doesn't become resentful. That is that middle point. I love you, but I love myself also. I respect you and I respect myself also. I give to you, but I want to give to myself also. And this is such an important lesson also for our children, for our motherhood. If we teach them from the young age that every person is the center of their own world, that everybody has their own limits and capacity, they become very considerate to other people. They start appreciating their own time, but they start appreciating the time of other people. They don't take people so easily for granted, but neither they take their own time, effort, attention, or whatsoever for granted. And this is hard, especially in motherhood, because then we have to be that bad guy. We have to be the mom who sends the child out of the room when they want attention. But we have to learn to separate a real need and just seeking attention. We have to learn to be self-led woman and protect our time when it's necessary, and then from that place to be able to pour into our families and our children from overflow and not resentment. We have to become self-led women who protect the purity of their heart and purity of their giving. Anything other than that will become self-betrayal, and then we don't feel okay, people don't feel okay, and the love doesn't feel the way it should feel. So to summarize this podcast episode for the end, the middle point between self-betrayal and love is basically your capacity, and you are the only one who can know where is your capacity. You stop at that capacity to protect purity of the love you have for other people. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed and you find some good wisdom in this podcast episode. Until the next week, I wish you a beautiful rest of the day. Bye-bye.